So now we are going to go for correlation. So what is correlation? Correlation means you're finding some similarity between data. So we have see in this graph, you have seen residential, commercial, industrial, and total. So do you find that there is a similarity between the different data? Or if there is some similarity, whether similarity is strong or weak, are the variables similar enough, or will, if you substitute one variable to another, can you use the other thing? That you are going to investigate those parameters, you call it as correlation. The correlation is correlating two variables. So you have to investigate the relationship between the variables graphically and computationally. Graphically, by observing, you can see the values, whether the two variables are same, and mathematically also in statistics, you have a lot of tools to check the correlation between two variables, whether it is directly proportional or inversely proportional or non-linear or not at all related. So you can find different levels of correlation using the tools available in MATLAB. So see here, you can see often relationship between variables by simply plotting them. So one way of visually seeing them is plotting them and seeing whether both the variables are correlating or not. So here you can see two variables, whether you can look at them and say whether they're correlating or not. But you see here both of them, different scales are there. One is lying in 400 to 600 scale, and one is lying from 0 to 50 scale. So it is difficult to see the properties of these two, right? So for that case, MATLAB has a separate function where you can plot a graph with two y-axis. Here x-axis is same, and the two I am plotting two functions at two y-axis, right? So I can customize one y-axis for one graph, another y-axis for another graph, and plot it. That is possible in MATLAB. See here, now I am plotting my y, and then I am plotting my x. What is the difference? Both the things are going to be the same graph, but you see, this y-axis is for my graph at the bottom. This y-axis is for my graph at the top. So this representation does not provide me any correlation, but this representation says that the two waves are correlated. So once you do this, things will be very clear, and you can even adjust the level of any of the waveforms accordingly, whatever you want. You can adjust the levels of the waveforms so that you get a clear picture of whether you see using the y-limit command, they've adjusted the y-axis width of the waveform. So you can try to minimize them and see at what position they will be correlating to each other. So you can adjust the amplitude and see what is the position where you can establish some relationship between the two waveforms. Correlation means you are relating two things. Visually, if you don't do all these adjustments, you will say that the variables are uncorrelated. But if MATLAB has a provision to view signals in a different way, so I am plotting a graph with same x-axis and two different y-axis, and when you plot it in such a way, you clearly understand that the the two signals are almost correlating. They have some relation between each other. That is clear. Okay.